movie for next week is Two-Fisted Law. It's a Western, filmed in 1932. It's remembered today mainly because it's one of John Wayne's first movies. He's 25 years old. He's on camera a lot, but he doesn't have a lot to do. He's mainly in the background. And it's also an early movie of Walter Brennan, who is an actor that the younger generation may not know, but he was the first man to win 3 Academy Awards. And, of course, he was the star of The Real McCoys through the 1950s. And he has a bigger part towards the end of the movie. You hardly see him in the beginning, but towards the end of it, he becomes central to the plot. But it is a Tim McCoy movie, and Tim McCoy is forgotten by anyone but Western aficionados now. But he was one of the major Western stars of the 1920s and 30s. And think about a lot of the Western stars of the 1920s and 30s, they were great cowboys. These guys could ride. These guys could shoot. They had actually been lawmen in the Old West.
Oh.
A lot of them came to Hollywood, including Tim McCoy, as technical advisors on Westerns and got into it. They were great cowboys. They weren't such great actors, to be sure. The dialogue is kind of flat in this. But I enjoyed it because there is, it's an example of the Westerns that used to saturate early television when I was a kid. This movie is barely an hour long, and movies like this would have been trimmed to fit a half hour or an hour time slot when I was a kid. And these are before I became an avid Costello fan, before I discovered The Adventures of Superman, I was watching old Westerns on TV because that's what there was. They were playing old Westerns like this. So this is a very Depression-era Western. It starts with the foreclosure of Tim McCoy's the hero. It starts with a foreclosure on his farm, and there's the farm of his girlfriend is about to be foreclosed on, and it's all done by this dastardly villain. And you can see the era it was made in, because that's the center of the plot. There's some gunfire near the end, there's some heroics near the end, but basically it's people complaining that they mortgaged away their lives, and now they got to pay the piper. One thing to watch in this movie, this is an era when people were much shorter than they are today, noticeably shorter than they are today. Tim McCoy's the hero. His official height is 5'11". To that I say, ha, ha, I don't think so. But John Wayne is a real live 6'4". And especially in the beginning of the movie, when John Wayne comes in the scene, they tend to there's one scene with him and 2 other cowboys.
10 seconds.
Okay, they're standing on a platform, and he's then standing in the street so that won't accentuate his height, because he's at least 8 inches taller than these guys. And
the movie again is called?
Yes.
Two-Fisted.
The toy is tomorrow's Rebel set. Talk to you soon, Joe.
Two-Fisted Law, right? Right.
Two-Fisted Law is next week.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
And that's our show for tonight. Visual Radio with Frank Dello Stritto, Jonathan Paley, Views and the Opinions in Mind. Reeling is next. You can watch Reeling right here on WinCam, and then you can watch Rebel set tomorrow night on WinCam.